Dear Patriots, before the news starts, please subscribe to our patriotic channel by clicking the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up to this video. Don't forget to leave your opinion below in the comments section. Share the news on Facebook and Twitter so your friends see it. Thank you.
After arriving in China, Trump looked into camera and everyone saw a scary thing behind him. Huge news, and it's hot off the presses. Trump is doing something scary big right now as people sleep. The creepy media will never talk about what you are about to see. I'm serious. Trump arrived in Beijing on Wednesday and received a dinner inside the Forbidden City, according to Daily News. Check out the amazing video below. This is going to go down in history. You see that scary big, red door behind Trump in the video below. Wait till you see what it means. Trump is the first president that has been given a state dinner at the Forbidden City. Trump isn't the first U.S. president to be given a state dinner at the Forbidden City. The Chinese are going all out to impress our president because they need to work with him. They need to work together to take out the threat that is North Korea. Now some people might call him the king, Trump said about Xi last month. It looks like he's getting the king's welcome now. Share this if you are so proud of our president. Look at how the Chinese treat him. Way better than Obama, that's for sure. Tucker Carlson just dropped the hammer on journalist who doesn't know anything about the Second Amendment. Leftists of all stripes have been coming out of the woodwork to politicize the horrific church shooting in Texas on Sunday. As per usual, their calls for more gun control are grossly misinformed. True to form, however, that doesn't stop them from saying literally whatever comes into their head. Tucker Carlson at least is ready to take them to task. Tuesday on Tucker Carlson Tonight, he ripped the Atlantic journalist David Frum for suggesting in a tweet that domestic abusers should be banned from owning firearms, a law that has already been in the book for decades. Tucker said of his tweet, "Wow, that's brilliant. So brilliant that it's been federal law for 21 years. Good job, David Frum, though you're a little late to the policy-making party." Under existing statute, Devin Kelley was not allowed to buy the gun he used. Carlson went on to explain how government bureaucracy failed to prevent this tragedy. Kelley had been convicted of brutally abusing his wife and infant stepson and received a bad conduct discharge from the Air Force for doing it. Even before that, before his conviction, Kelley had escaped from a mental hospital, all of that clearly disqualifying him for purchasing firearms. Unfortunately, incompetent government clerks did not supply that information to the correct federal database. The laws were on the books, the bureaucracy botched it. It's a sad state of affairs when so-called experts and journalists willfully ignore or choose not to research the issues that they so vocally rail against. Watch Tucker Carlson's full epic rant here. It starts at 24:18. Reno's beware. Seconds ago, Trump got up and told Ed Gillespie exactly why he lost Virginia. It was a disappointing day for Republicans in Virginia on Tuesday when Democrat Ralph Northam won the governor's seat by about 200,000 votes. Frustrated Republicans were left asking why? President Trump gave the perfect answer. The president is dead on here. Gillespie never invited the president to campaign on his behalf, and didn't mention him during his last speech before elections. Considering President Trump has been wildly successful getting voter turnout and creating exciting campaigns that speak to a wide audience, it was foolish for Gillespie to hold the president at arm's length. Instead, Gillespie campaigned with Senator Marco Rubio, RFL, and New Mexico Governor Susana Martinez. Nevertheless, the president tried to help Gillespie during the day of the election, recording a robocall that said, "Like me, Ed is tough on crime and on the border. Ed will protect your family from crime, drugs and violence, something Northam will never do. With your help, Ed Gillespie will help make America great again, a phrase that I like a lot. Vote Ed Gillespie." At the end of the day, This is just one state governorship, and Northam's win will not broadly affect national policy that the president puts forth. However, this is a good lesson for Republicans in 2018. Ignore Trump and his base and you may just be out of a job. HT The Hill. Share. Seconds ago in South Korea, Trump turned and gave forward order that'll change the world forever. President Trump issued a huge warning to North Korea seconds ago. This is why you don't mess with the United States. He looked right into the eyes of the audience in North Korea and said 4 words that echoed throughout the building. This a very different administration than the United States has had in the past, Trump said. Do not underestimate us. And do not try us. Watch what happens next. About a minute in, our president didn't stop there. He tore North Korea apart. Every step you take down this dark path increases the peril you face, Trump said. North Korea is not the paradise your grandfather envisioned. It is a hell that no person deserves. All responsible nations must join forces to isolate the brutal regime of North Korea, to deny it any form of support, supply, or acceptance, he said. When the Korean War began in 1950, the two Koreas were approximately equal in GDP per capita, but by the 1990s South Korea's wealth had surpassed North Korea by more than 10 times. And today the South's economy is over 40 times larger, Trump said. You're doing something right. North Korea is a country ruled by a cult. At the center of this military cult is a deranged belief in the ruler's destiny to rule as a parent protector over a conquered Korean peninsula, Trump said. The more successful South Korea becomes, the more successfully you discredit the dark fantasy at the heart of the South Korean regime. This is the most powerful. Virginia governor race called. The result is a good sign for Republicans for a surprising reason. Democrat Ralph Northam has just been declared the winner of the Virginia gubernatorial race. A few weeks ago, that news wouldn't be surprising, but a series of missteps by the Northam campaign paired with a strong performance by Republican Ed Gillespie turned the race into a nail-biter. The surprisingly thin margin of this race was propelled in part by an ad that was aired on behalf of the Northam campaign. That ad, which showed a fictional Gillespie supporter running down minority children with a truck, backfired spectacularly. In the end, however, it didn't matter. While it may have eaten into the governor-elect's margin of victory, it wasn't enough to cost him the race. But don't cry for Gillespie. This wasn't supposed to be a close race to begin with. President Donald Trump lost Virginia by 3 points 1 year ago this week. Since then, the media have been pushing the narrative that Trump is hurting his party across the country. In reality, Virginia is still blue and the margins are still small. Neither party forced a statewide shift, as precinct by precinct data shows. Gillespie overperformed Trump in some counties and underperformed in others. In other words, Trump isn't killing the party like the media says. He isn't really changing much at all. This actually bodes well for Republicans next year, where the geographic makeup of the open seats favored the GOP by a considerable margin. With the current trajectory, which appears pretty flat, it looks like they're still poised to win. Comment good job, Gillespie, and share if you're proud of this race. He may not have won, but he performed above expectations. Trump reaches into pocket during huge meeting with Xi Jinping, pulls out secret weapon and Wednesday. Trump arrived in China for some huge meetings that will have major ramifications for the entire world. North Korea is one big issue and of course trade. Wait till you see the video below. Trump has been tough on China. Most pundits thought he was crazy. Said he was pressing them too hard. Said he didn't know what he was doing. But then a funny thing happened. China, finally, after every single American president had tried and failed, got tough on North Korea. They refuse to allow their banks to do business with the North Koreas, eliminating their access to foreign currency. They have stopped or will severely limit their imports of North Korean coal. And they have gathered a huge force of soldiers on the border and have warned North Korea that future nuke tests that could destabilize the mountain test site and leak its poison into China would be met with an immediate ground invasion. North Korea is now desperate, and if we are much closer to a solution than at any time in the past 40 years. So the stakes were high when Trump met with Chinese President Xi Jinping earlier today. Trump was given a massive state welcome and then taken to a private meeting with the Chinese president. Trump has already been winning in the negotiations, and the Chinese are known for saving face. They needed a win, and Trump, ever the master negotiator, knows this. So right after the meeting started, as reported by Reuters, Trump reached into his pocket and pulled out his secret weapon. A video of Ivanka's daughter Arabella Kushner singing in Mandarin, which a happy and very impressed Xi said was excellent, before telling Trump that his granddaughter is a huge child star because the video went massively viral in China. Trump certainly knows what he is doing when it comes to negotiations. Share if you agree. Share.